Hi beautiful people of the internet, this is Khushi and welcome to my channel. This is something that I was literally dying to say. Hi, I'm just gonna do a very normal quick get ready with me video here while I'll be talking about what's it like being a young adult and just figuring it out. I'm gonna be talking about things that I find challenging, things that I find thrilling, things that I find really frustrating. And honestly, I'm just gonna be sitting here and yapping. So go chill, go study, play this in the background, go cook or do something. I'm just gonna be yapping. I'll be doing this beautiful frosty look because I just had blue eyeshadow, so I wanted to. And yeah, let's get into the video. Hi, I hope that intro was good. I mean, I don't know, I've yet to do it, but I'm gonna be doing my makeup and you'll get ready with me while I'm gonna talk about things that I'm just figuring out as a young adult. And obviously I'm not generalizing the idea because everyone has different experiences. In my case, I am I'm a very stubborn person. It takes me a long time to change, so I hate change. So I think it's a little tough for me as well, or I'm just dumb enough to not be a young adult. I don't want to be, but I am, so kya kar sakte hain? I'm gonna start by correcting every pigmentation I have and talk about things that honestly I found hard about being a young adult and things that are actually fun. Again, personal experience. One of the major things would be, which I think a lot of people also face, is making friends or connections as a young adult, and more like becoming your own person. That's why I think it's hard, because when you're in your starting 20s, you are not what your parents made you, you're not what your friends made you. You're just this person who is most probably living alone and who has to now figure out who they are alone. I don't know if it makes sense, but for me it was okay, now I'm not under the influence of so many people. I'm smart enough to make my own life choices. I trust myself enough to make my life choices. So who am I? Figuring that out and making friends, because these are two different things, but it's the people who you thought were going to be around you forever, you still love them very much, but it's just the version of you and them are just very different right now. You're on different paths. So your friends remain your friends, but something changes. Or I am just maybe weirdly talking or yapping, so I don't care. But yeah, for me it's been hard to make real connections, because I feel I also keep changing and evolving so much as I explore myself. So yeah, and it's hard to make connections in a way that you really start to understand how important your relationship with yourself is as a young adult, when you realize, okay, I'm kind of actually alone in this world and I need to be independent and I need to figure things out on my own. At that time, I think the relationship that you have with yourself is so important that you would never go and compromise your happiness or anything to be friends with someone or date someone who you don't want to be around with. The second thing I think is also very common for people, and that is, am I doing the right thing or not? Because this is the time where most of us are making decisions for our lives, decisions that might affect the rest of our lives, and there's always a constant worry about that. For me, because this is the time when most of us are figuring out what we want to do with life, and this is going to affect, these decisions are going to affect our life. And for me it's even crazier, because I don't have a 9-to-5 job, by the way. I do so many different things trying to figure out what I enjoy and just stick with what would satisfy me. It's a sad little story, but so I go into these spirals of what the fuck am I doing with my life a billion times a day, or I used to, especially when you see your friends, they're in big companies, or they're starting something up, or they're lawyers, or they're becoming doctors or something, and you sit there and you be I don't want to do anything. I just want to do the things that I truly enjoy. It's weird. Yeah, because of that, I've always been asking this question to myself, what am I doing with my life, and blah blah blah. But I have honestly understood that instead of asking this question to yourself, what am I going to do with life, it's way better to just do things and then see if you want to do them or not. So do literally every single thing that you're interested in, try it. If it works out, it works out. If you want to do it, you do it. If you don't, because if you keep thinking about it, for me personally, I've never ever found a solution to anything while thinking, mostly. But when I'm just, putting the work, doing the thing, approach it with some curiosity rather than the fear of just failing at it. Because isn't it better to fail at like 10 things and then the 11th thing is the thing that you want to do for the rest of your life, or not fail at anything and just stuck with that one thing, like the first option you have, and you're like, oh, I don't even know what I want to do with my life. I'm not making sense. I'm not making sense at all. Honestly, another issue for me was identity crisis, and honestly, I think everyone goes through it. If you are a young adult who has not been through it, congratulations, you had a great childhood. But yeah, identity crisis is very real. It's one of the most scariest thing I have ever been through. And the even scarier part is that it keeps evolving. Like, you think you have found who you are, and then it changes the other day, and then it keeps changing, and it keeps changing depending on what's happening in your life. How are people loving you? How much money are you making? Are you doing the things you love? Are you showing up for yourself? All of these factors can make you feel like a loser or like a really good person as an identity level. Yeah. Okay, now this is something that we all go through, but for some reason when I started doing it, I found it like, okay, it's when, now that you are your own person, now that you live alone, you have to deal with so many things that your parents dealt with, like electricity bills, asking people to come over and fix something, gifting people things on Diwali. I never thought that I had to, give my kachre wala bhaiya something, but I had to. And then I remembered later when he did not pick my kachra. So they're like little things that I didn't even think about, like social things that my parents always took care of. And now I'm like, okay. And where is my social training class, by the way, in school? That now you're turning into an adult, you need to do these things, you need to learn these things. Where are those? Nowhere. But honestly, with all that is said and done, you understand that this might be the most frustrating, hardest thing that you're going through right now, because we are a generation of weird people, and I've realized that finding little joys in the journey is the answer. So that's what I try to do. This video is that. This is me finding some joy in being who I am. I don't know what I did to my face to make it look like this. I need to fix it. I will. I'm just gonna go shoot an audition that I'm really excited about. And yeah, I hope you liked sitting with me, chatting with me, talking about things, talking about figuring out how to be a young adult. And I hope that you would subscribe and like and share so that I can come back later and talk to you about more things, because I love yapping. बोलने के पैसे दे दे बस मुझे कोई, और मुझे कुछ नहीं चाहिए.